Falconets face Mexico, Australia in friendlies of FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup. Also, Nigeria champions Edo Queens edge closer to historic CAF Women's Champions League spot after win over Ivory Coast Inter FC. What's the case with Victor Osimhen's transfer this season? As Antonio Conte says, I'm only a spectator and offer to exactly what goes down this time around. It is the fact that Phil Foden has been named the PFA Player of the Year and also Cole Palmer Young Player of the Year. And that is not without leaving out tennis, where Ariana Sabalenka has won her first title since Australia Open. But what's that title? Good morning and welcome to Sports Radio 360, right here on your Women Radio 91.7. My name is Miracle Phillip, and indeed, it is the time of our lives. It's always a fabulous time to be right here with you, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 7 a.m. on your Women Radio 91.7. And just to let you know that we are currently live on our Instagram handle. I'm talking about WFM 917. We're also live on Facebook as well as YouTube this morning. And it's time to saddle you with all of the sporting details for your listening pleasure. Here we go, this is the time of our life. Well, all is set and ready as Falconets are set to face Mexico, Australia in the friendlies. I mean, the warm-up matches in preparation for the FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup. Of course, we get to see that there's been statement by the Nigeria Football Federation President Ibrahim Gosua, who says the Falconets left Nigeria for Colombia 2 weeks before the competition so they can play quality friendly matches in readiness for the task at the finals. He also says they will play against Mexico and Australia, and at the initial, Colombia was among the countries for the friendly matches, but it seemed like they withdrew. Now, Nigeria currently in Group D with Germany, Venezuela, as well as Korea Republic, and they will start their campaign against Korea Republic on Monday, September 2nd, before taking on Germany 2 days later on 4th September, while the last match will be against Venezuela, which will hold on the 7th of September. Away from that as well, yes, I bring you in with news actually following hard decent performance in the CAF Women's Champions League semi-final clash against Inter d'Abidjan. Edo Queens Suliat Abidin has been voted as the man of the match. Yes, the Nigerian champion secured a 2-1 win over the hosts, courtesy of goals from Essien and Ilivieda. And despite not scoring, Suliat was able to distinguish herself in the game and ensure that Edo Queens dominated the game, and which is why they are a lot more closer to a historic CAF Women's Champions League spot after winning over Ivory Coast Inter FC. And I tell you, definitely they've booked their place in the final of the Waffle B zonal qualifiers with a triumph on Tuesday at Stade de la Parc in Bouquet. And I mean, when we look back in time, they entered the semi-finals with confidence, having topped Group B with an impeccable record, and we're definitely going to see how this one would go down with them, especially as Tuesday's victory caps off a remarkable year for Edo Queens, who secured their first ever NWFL Premiership title still this year, 2024. Of course, if you've just tuned in, this is 5 minutes after 7 on your Women Radio 91.7. I am Miracle Phillip, and we're serving you with all sporting details. Well, looks like a lot of people have not forgotten exactly what went down in the Paris 2024 Olympics. I will tell you now. Yes, it seems like it's all gone, done and dusted. But then the Nigeria Wrestling Federation has apologized to Nigerians over the poor outing of Nigeria wrestlers to the recently concluded Paris Olympics. Yes, the president of the NWF, Daniel Igali, apologized to Nigerians for falling below expectations, as it was one of the federations with high hopes heading into the Olympics because of what it has been able to produce on the global stage over the years. Now, in his words, he says, we apologize to Nigerians for not reaching the climax that we set for ourselves in the past. There was no federation in Nigeria's history that has won 6 world championships. It is only the Wrestling Federation. So my question would now be, Apology accepted. But in other news, that the Flamingos are set and ready, resuming for duty for the FIFA Under 17 Women's World Cup final campaign. Oh, yes, this is coming from the head coach Bankole Olowokere, who has invited 35 players to the camp of Nigeria's Under 17 girls Flamingos as the team commences the first stage of the final preparations for the 8th FIFA Under 17 Women's World Cup finals to be staged in the Dominican Republic later this year. All is set up and ready, and we get to see how the action goes. But then I'll squeeze this one in very quickly. And it is the fact that there's been a lot of conversations, lots of speculations, lots of questions about the future of Victor Osimhen. Of course, he has been linked to Paris Saint-Germain, but looks like the deal didn't quite find a solid ground to set sail for his display this season. Still talks about going to Chelsea, but looks like there's been more priority placed to, Romelu Lukaku, actually, a transaction. But this time around, Antonio Conte says, you know what? I refuse to be involved in the transfer issue of the Nigerian international. Well, we see that he has actually been training separately from the team since he returned for preseason. And in their very first game at the start of the season, Napoli suffered a heavy defeat for Hellas Verona, which led to the questioning of Conte about the absence of the hardworking attacker. And then in his words, he said, you see, I see that Osimhen has been training separately since his return. You need to ask the club, not me. So if you people have been pointing fingers at Antonio Conte, you should be asking Napoli, what's the plan with Victor Osimhen? And besides, if you're keeping him separately out of the squad, why not make these transfer to the clubs that want him easy? But of course, one would say they don't want it easy peasy. They want it go hard with plenty of dough being made. 8 minutes after 7 on your Women Radio 91.7. My name is Miracle Phillip, and I'm serving you with sporting details right here on Sports Radio 360. We'll take a break now, and when we come back, it's more transfer news and exactly what is going down. For your listening pleasure, definitely. Don't forget that you can be part of the conversation this morning. The phone lines are 07000 917 917, 07000 917 917. We also have our toll-free number. This one is strictly for women. It is 0800 1235 917, and our SMS and WhatsApp line is 0703 175 6537.
We are Nigeria's only radio station for women, and their families.
She structured the National Social Investment Office, NSIO, to eliminate corruption. She ensured due process is followed in the award of contracts to include regulation and monitoring of payment to beneficiaries by the Ministry of Budget and Planning and other international bodies. A lawyer, Mariam Uwais, initiated and coordinated feeding and education of out-of-school children in Nigeria through the At-Risk Children Program. Uwais was instrumental to the prohibition of marketing, promotion, distribution, and sales of tobacco to minors. Uwais founded the Isa Wali Empowerment Initiative and has provided quality education and healthcare to over 15,300 indigent women and girls. Mariam Uwais is transparent, incorruptible, and accountable. An iconic woman of our time is an initiative of St. Ives Communications, Women Radio, Voice of Women, and supported by the MacArthur Foundation.
When you wake up in the morning, you want to start your day. Start with Kellogg's, It is tasty and nutritious. That's why we start our days with Kellogg's. So you can reach your days, stay active and alert. Start your day right. The breakfast time is Kellogg's time.
I always want what's best for my family. That's why we ensure we start our day with a Kellogg's breakfast, fortified with essential vitamins and minerals to stay active and alert to reach your goals.
The breakfast time is Kellogg's time.
Yo, it's time to switch up your streaming and social media experiences. Introducing the Glow My G bundle, the first all-in-one social and music bundle. It's the perfect bundle for texting, snapping, streaming, sharing, vibing, and everything you love doing online. With My G bundle, you get the data deals for Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, WhatsApp, Boomplay, Audiomack, and Glow TV, all in one bundle. Now you can make every naira count with affordable all-in-one data bundles with Glow My G. Get 1 gigabyte for 300 naira, 1.5 gigabytes for 500 naira, and 3.5 gigabytes for 1,000 naira on the Glow My G bundle. Plus, you also get 1 hour of free browsing on your favorite apps. That's Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, WhatsApp, Boomplay, Audiomack, and Glow TV. Dial *312# to start making every naira count with the Glow My G bundle. T's and C's apply.
Glow Unlimited.
Get ready for the 8th edition of the Voice of Women Conference and Awards, VAL 2024. Theme, Achieving Women's Inclusion for a Sustainable Nigeria. Mark your calendar for Thursday, 3rd of October 2024, 9 a.m. at the NAV Conference Center, Abuja, Nigeria. And be part of a national dialogue bringing together grassroots and urban women in the quest for inclusion and sustainability in Nigeria. VAL 2024 is more than just a conference, it's a powerful movement. VAL 2024, an initiative of Voice of Women Empowerment Foundation and Women Radio, is where diverse women groups converge to champion inclusive policies and drive national development.
Are you searching for durable, guaranteed, elegant, affordable home products? At Eleganza Industrial City Limited, we put you first. From plastic chairs for adults and babies, party tables and school tables, disposable plates and cups, as well as reusable plastics, food warmers and cooling boxes, trash bins of various sizes, baby diapers, lady sanitary care products, luggage of various sizes, hair threads, and lots more. Eleganza Industrial City Limited has got you covered with our elegantly designed products in unique shapes and sizes. Visit us at kilometer 68 Lekki Ekpe Expressway after Eleko Junction, Ibeju Lekki, Lagos. Or you can call 081 801 99999 or 090 914 73665, or you can send us an email at eleganzaindustrialcity@yahoo.com or info@eleganzagroups.com or sales@eleganzagroups.com. You can visit our website www.eleganzagroups.com. Eleganza Industrial City Limited. The name is our guarantee.
Lunch vibes. Every music note counts, aligning with lyrics and rhythm. Words soothing to the ears, voices and melodies with the best vibes ever. That is Lunch Vibes on Women Radio WFM 91.7.
I blow your candle light. You know I'm just that type. No, them no big kill.
The big question.
Corruption is, in fact, is increasing more. We never had a snake and whether python and swallow mood.
Why?
Everything has increased.
Conversational, controversial, and borderline disruptive. The big question.
Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays from 12:05 p.m. only on Women Radio.
What are the consequences of corruption on the woman? Silence. Silence through diverse forms. Education, healthcare, laws and policies fostering unfavorable conditions to the woman at all levels. The woman agenda, breaking that silence, demanding accountability, transparency, and good governance. The woman agenda is deliberate and calculative in amplifying the voice of women. The woman agenda, Fridays, 3 p.m. on Women Radio 91.7, a platform on the way forward.
You're listening to the Voice of Women. It's not just talk, but it will take you. We play everything and we play them better.
7:15 on your Women Radio 91.7. Welcome back. It is Sports Radio 360. I am Miracle Phillip, and I'm glad to be right here with you. What do you think about Ilkay Gundogan returning to Manchester City? We'll talk about that and more, but let's bring you in with news from the world of tennis. So yes, then this time around we'll bring you good news really for Ariana Sabalenka, who's won her first title since January's Australia Open by powering past Jessica Pegula in the final of the Cincinnati Open. The Belarusian needed 76 minutes to wrap up a 6-3, 7-5 victory for the 15th title of her career and her sixth at the WTA 1000 level. The result ended a 9-match winning streak for American Pegula, who defended her Canadian Open title last week. And in Sabalenka's words, she says, this trophy means a lot. It's really a big achievement, especially coming after injury with this fear of getting injured again. And of course, you see that Sabalenka, who will replace Coco Gauff as the new world number 2, cruised through the first set after getting the break in the fourth game. But that's not all, really. What happened with the men? Well, number 1, Jannik Sinner actually also made it through beating Francis Tiafoe in straight sets in the Cincinnati Open final to claim his 5th title of the season. The 23-year-old Italian, who has been struggling with a hip problem, won 7-6, 7-4, 6-2 against American Tiafoe. And after securing the first set on tie break, top seed Sinner wrapped up his latest trophy in 1 hour and 37 minutes. And in his words, he says it was a really difficult week. Tough week. I'm very happy about today's match. Now, Sinner is the youngest men's champion in Cincinnati since Britain's Andy Murray won the tournament in 2008 at the age of 21. But that's not all with Jannik Sinner, because there's been a lot of controversy about how exactly you would be found in possession of, a banned substance within your system. Twice, actually. Well, he has actually been cleared of any wrongdoing. Now, we know that the Italian tested positive for low levels of a metabolite of clotesbol, a steroid that can be used to build muscle mass during Indian wells. A further sample taken 8 days later also tested positive for low levels of the same metabolite. And one would wonder, coincidence or not? But then the International Tennis Integrity Agency has found Sinner was inadvertently contaminated with the substance by Giacomo Naldi, his physiotherapist. And they had been applying an over-the-counter spray available in Italy to a cut on his own hand and had carried out the treatments on Sinner. But then the ITIA has accepted the explanation and that the violation was not intentional. Do you agree or not? Well, we'll see how that pans out. But then this is to say he has been cleared. Now let's get into transfer updates, really, because this is exactly what has been making the rounds across several platforms. I asked you the question of what did you think about Ike Gundogan returning to Manchester City? One would say, could it be a possibility he's coming back to the squad, maybe to make up for Julian Alvarez absence? Well, Pep Guardiola has already said, you know what, it's not a problem. I'm saying yes to that potential return because, of course, Barcelona want Gundogan to leave and he's ready to leave, but then Pep wants him back, as also talks are in place with him coming back to the squad. Now, let's not also forget that he could actually have the option of going to the Saudi Pro League. I mean, the calls from Qatar, Saudi, and more clubs. But the question now is, would Gundogan come back to Manchester City? And do you think that that is something that he should utilize in this time? One would say, well, guy, come on. Can't cash out now. Or would he want to just make a name for himself still back at Manchester City? But then, the news, Chelsea and Atletico are finally signing all dogs for João Felix and Gallagher. Yes, João Felix becomes a Chelsea player on 6-year deal. An option for a further season 2031 has been included. And Conor Gallagher arrives in Madrid as well, as he already completed medicals and signed as Atleti player until 2029. All eyes are set and looking to what happens with Ademola Lookman because, Potential of moving to PSG. Could that be a right move in this season? Well, Nigeria's Super Eagles and Atlanta attacker Demola Lookman has agreed on personal terms with French Ligue 1 champions Paris Saint-Germain. We note that, of course, the performance of the Nigerian international last season attracted the top European clubs as Atalanta secured their first European title last season, with Lookman scoring a hat-trick in the final of the UEFA Europa League against Bayer Leverkusen. And let's not also forget that he did phenomenal in the just concluded AFCON. But then the suitors are so ready because they've agreed to pay Lookman 5 million euros as an annual salary. But then they will have to agree on a transfer fee with Atalanta. But the question now would be, what is Atalanta saying? Because, of course, they had been previously furious about having to see that, he's really, really considering this. But then they're actually also all outed to say, we'll do what is best for the team. And this is coming from Atalanta's CEO, Luca Pecassi, as he has revealed that the Italian club will put themselves first as regards the potential exit of Ademola Lookman from the club. Well, away from that particular one, which of course I'm going to be opening up the phone lines now for you to also get to share with us. Super Eagles goalkeeper Maduka Okoye has penned a new deal with Udinese. Yes, the 24-year-old joined the Little Zebras last summer from Watford in a deal worth around 2 million euros, and slowly worked his way into being the first choice goalkeeper, keeping 5 clean sheets in 21 league games, helping the team avoid relegation from the back. And so, if he's signing a new deal with his club side, that will see him stay at the club all the way till the summer of 2028. But there are also questions around exactly what is the plan for Chelsea and Sterling. You see, Raheem Sterling, moving from being that teenage boy in Liverpool to Manchester City and trying to find his feet, and then to Chelsea, and then all of a sudden we're saying, where is Raheem Sterling? Is he experiencing what we call a career wind down? Because he has been left out of Chelsea's squad for their Europa Conference League playoffs first leg. Let's not also forget that he was left out of, the squad in their last game. And since joining Chelsea, he has made 81 appearances. So the question now would be, which way for Raheem Sterling? Should Chelsea progress, they could name Sterling in their squad for the Conference League group stage, but that is not leaving out the speculations of what is the future of this particular player. What about Arsenal's keeper, Aaron Ramsdale? David Raya just came and swept the guy off the first choice seat that he'd been sitting on in Arsenal. But then Wolves have made an offer to sign Aaron Ramsdale on a season-long deal. And the bid, which was submitted on Monday, includes an option to make the move permanent in 2025. Well, the phone lines are open now, and let me get to hear from you. 07000 917 917 07000 917 This is not leaving out the fact that Ipswich are set to sign Chelsea striker Armando Broja on a season-long loan in a deal that could be permanent. The Premier League newcomers have included a clause that could see them sign the 22-year-old on a permanent basis for 30 million euros should they avoid relegation. And well, what seems to be the biggest news across all social media platforms is the fact that Manchester City midfielder Phil Foden has won the Professional Footballers Association's Men's Player of the Year award, while Chelsea winger Cole Palmer was named the Young Player of the Year. Now, this is the first time since 2009-2010 campaign that both men's awards have gone to English players. So this actually is a big win for them. Foden actually scored 19 goals in 35 top flight appearances in 2023-2024 as City won the historic fourth successive Premier League, and age 23, he becomes the youngest player to have won 6 league titles. Now, he won over his own teammates Erling Haaland, Rodri, Chelsea's Palmer, Arsenal's Martin Odegaard, as well as Aston Villa's Oli Watkins, who were on the shortlist. But what about Palmer? Well, lots of people would say, well, you didn't win the PFA player, but at least you went home with something. And that is winning the young player. The young PFA player, beating Arsenal's Bukayo Saka, Manchester United's duo, Kobe Mino, as well as Alejandro Garnacho, former Crystal Palace player, Michael Olise, and Brighton's João Pedro. Now, in the women's side, Manchester City's Khadija Shaw won the Player of the Year award, and Manchester United's Grace Clinton was named Young Player of the Year. But what happened to the Team of the Year? You know what happened? We saw it dominated by Manchester City and Arsenal. In goalkeeper, David Raya was in right there for Arsenal. Defenders, William Saliba of Arsenal, Virgil van Dijk of Liverpool, Gabriel of Arsenal, Kai Walker of Manchester City. Midfielders, Rodri of Manchester City, Declan Rice of Arsenal, Martin Odegaard of Arsenal. Forwards, Erling Haaland of Manchester City, Phil Foden of Manchester City, as well as Oli Watkins of Aston Villa. Oh, if your club was not among, I'm just smiling in Swahili. But then, this is where we get to wrap it up right here on Sports Radio 360. And I want to say thank you so much for driving this with me on this dial. Of course, we're going to be having newspaper review come up next, so stay tuned. My name is Miracle Phillip. Thanks so much for joining the vibes this morning. It's all vibes, and I'm sure that you can have a sporty morning. We'll be back on Friday. Keep following us at Women Radio WFM 91.7 across all socials. Good morning.
We are Nigeria's only radio station for women and their families.